Well, you actually clicked the link. Let me tell you why that's a big deal. Kind of, sort of. So I'll get to the news in a second here. First, I want to share with you all. Bluesky is now open to the public. So Bluesky is the one of the Twitter competitors that doesn't suck. It is now open. You can go and follow me on Bluesky. This is my page, daviddole.bsky.social. And just search me up. You'll find me. That's, of course, if you care at all. But this is just, it's, hopefully we can put Twitter out to pasture. Because as we'll get to in a second here, there is a interesting trend, I suppose, in news that doesn't bode too well potentially for the general election and just generally, even apart from the election. But this from Axios. Americans are tuning out politics news ahead of 2024 election. So take a look at the trend here. Back in 2020, of course, you got the pandemic being a big reason for why people were a little more engaged. But also, throughout the year, part of it being for the election as well. Since then, of course, there was a sharp drop-off after the election, but there was even a little jump up, possibly during the midterms there. But it's been trending downward generally. And this is not just this set of data saying this. There's also more. So this is from, let me just get their names here. SimilarWeb. This they put out late last year. Social media referrals to top 100 news sites, which I would say likely goes to why a lot of people are, or a lot less people are engaged with news compared to previous years. There is less social media referrals or people coming from social media. It's hard to know the exact reason for that. I think part of it is the, TikTok becoming more popular, but TikTok becoming a platform where it's less likely people are going to be clicking on referral links. But also, Elon Musk taking over Twitter and just completely taking it to the ground. Less people engaged on that platform, but also news links generally are less prominent on Twitter. It is tougher to find what is happening in the news on Twitter. The algorithm is completely screwed up. So all of this has combined, in addition to Facebook now. Facebook has completely shut down independent political channels. So if you're seeing this on Facebook, it's only because you went to my Facebook page, TRN show, facebook.com/TRN show, and you clicked the video. Facebook used to serve these videos up in your regular feed. They no longer do that. Even if you follow me, you will not see this video. So Facebook has completely shut down all, at the very least, independent news. It's possible they have gone even further than that, but actually in Canada, they have gone further. In Canada, due to a recent law that forced big tech giants like Facebook to pay into media that they are boosting on Facebook, they have decided to completely shut down news on Facebook. So Facebook and Instagram, you can't even link to any news sites. You can't view any news pages on Facebook. On Instagram, if you try to post a link to a news page from an Instagram story, for example, it won't let you. So they have just completely shut down the ability to share any news at all on Facebook. All of this has combined, I think, to lead to what we're seeing here, just less people engaged with news through social media. And some examples here. So this was, by the way, this is based off 100 news sites. So some of the news sites here, like Forbes, HuffPost, LA Times, New York Times, Politico, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal. If you look at the green, which is last year, it is down across the board. So compared to every previous year in every site, except for maybe Oregon Live, which may be a little up over the previous year, but every other news site is seeing a lot less traffic referred from social networks. And again, I think that goes to the what's been going on with TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. And in addition to that, less people are engaged through cable news. So cable news ratings are also down considerably between November 2023 and January 24 compared to 2019 and 2020. Although, as they write here, one additional factor is that fewer households are paying for cable subscriptions now than 4 years ago. So that trend also has continued. Just less people are subscribed to cable and are opting instead just to go completely online. Social media interactions with political debates and town halls have also waned significantly. Part of that, of course, is just that this is the first time, at least in my life, that it is very clear who was winning both primaries. So you have Biden, the incumbent, the president, he's going to be the nominee. And then you have Donald Trump with the sycophants, MAGA, making up the majority of Republican voters. He's going to win that primary. Unless something happens health-wise, we both know who the two candidates are going to be in November. So I think that has led to less engagement with debates, with town halls. There really is no reason to tune in, knowing who is going to end up at the end of this. And Newswhip, which is one of their sources here, also acknowledges that engagement may have shifted from platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and X to other platforms like TikTok that are less suitable for links to news sites, as I was saying. So less engagement generally. It's of course, this is on my part completely anecdotal, but I have seen less engagement on independent news channels, and even in some cases, bigger news channels like CNN, MSNBC. I've just noticed that the interest is not there the way that it once was. Now that also depends on the story, and it depends on how certain news is framed, what the titles of things are. But generally, there appears to be less engagement with news and politics, especially. And I totally, completely understand that. I often feel like if I wasn't doing this on a full-time basis, if this wasn't my job, I would not be following this. I would, of course, still be engaged in certain issues. I would, what the far right-wing government in Israel is doing with the support of like the U.S., Canada, the U.K., is one story that people are paying attention to, even according to this article. That's like one of the outliers here. But apart from that, it's tough to engage in a lot of this, also because people have their own problems, right? Like this, especially, it really feels like since the pandemic, things have gotten tougher in a variety of ways for people, whether it's health issues or whether it's just they lost their job or they're not making enough to survive. They have other things on their mind that occupy them. Why do they want to go online and then feel even more anxiety, more depression over what is happening in the world? So I totally get people, disengaging from news, from politics, but this is also a potential worry for the general election. When people are less engaged, they're less likely to turn out for an election. And I think that is going to be the case in November. And ultimately, low turnout tends to benefit conservatives because there is a built-in base that are going to come out and vote no matter what. Again, a lot of them sycophants, these mega chuds, they're going to come out and vote because that's what they do. They vote every time. Whereas the Democratic Party, they need to rely more on people who don't normally vote to come out and vote to win elections. Young people in particular is a big piece of that. And with the amount of people that Joe Biden is losing with his support of the far right-wing government of Israel, that is going to continue to be an issue for him. He needs young people to win, and he's simply not going to get them. But I'm going off on a tangent here. So this is just, you're one of the good ones coming here to watch this video all the way through about the news. But I applaud you. At the same time, I would likely not be one of you if this wasn't my job.